This is just to show you the right way to put on the training collar on Grace. You are going to snap it behind the back of her head. It's going to pull up nice and high right underneath both of her ears, and it should be up on kind of the crown or the back of her head. Right now it's loose because she's just doing the mini camp, so you can kind of fit a whole hand behind it. But as she grows, you're going to take out some of those links, or she'll grow into it, and that way it should be nice and snug and stay nice and high right behind her ears, and then right on the back of her head is right where that prong collar should sit. Like I said, right now it's a little loose, so it will slide down a little bit, but eventually you want it to be really nice and snug and nice and high. This will be an example of what a mini training session will look like with Grace. You're going to really work on the commands of heel, sit, stay, and come. So Nate's just going to show you kind of what a little session will look like. He's going to have Grace in heel, where she walks real nice right alongside the left-hand side of his body. You can see she's not pulling ahead. He's the one that's leading her, and she's just following really nice right alongside him. Then when he stops, we have Grace sit. He gives her a stop sign for stay, and he goes just to the end of the leash, and then when he says come, he pulls his hand down to his thigh, and then she should come and sit right in front of her, right in front of him. And you can see how he just kind of corrected that little jump that she did. We don't want her to jump up. We want to be able to praise her and her still stay down. We really want to nip that jumping up just by changing the tone of your voice. You can change your speed, and she should just stay in that nice heel right alongside the left-hand side of your body. And I'll do a stay again. Lots of praise. She's doing a good job. A great way to practice manners with Grace is when you're going in and out of doors or in and out of gates. So here Nate's just going to show you how we incorporate that. So when he walks up the steps, it's in a real controlled manner. Grace is going to sit in front of the door. Nate's going to calmly open up the door, and then he's going to lead her through. So it's not her going first, it's Nate leading the way. This is another really easy way to just establish dominance and show Grace who is the boss. So again, he's just going to have her sit. He's going to open the door, and then he's going to lead her out. So she can sit really nice, come through the doors like a lady, and that way you don't run the risk of getting pulled off the steps or tripping over her. She can just walk through calm, and you can have total control. To incorporate that sit, stay, come is through play. So we play a lot with Grace while we're training her. So we have a little toy. You can see we have her on the training collar, we have the leash. Nate throws it just a few feet in front of him, and then kind of tease Grace back in. So what she wants to do is grab the toy and run the other way. The leash provides kind of that control over her, so she still gets to run and go get it, but then she's learning that fetch, which is super helpful to work on when you're trying to exercise her, but also get her to obey those commands. This is meant to be more light and playful, but yet we still want her to listen to the commands. So we still want her to come after she retrieves the toy. So she's getting a lot better at it. When we first started this, she would grab the toy and kind of play that cat and mouse, where we would kind of try to get her and she would kind of dodge. So what the leash does, keeping it on, is just provides a bigger proximity for you to be able to step on the leash or grab the leash if she doesn't want to come. So you can see that she's hearing the come, and we're teething her in with that leash, and so she's learning that command even more, solidifying that obedience. You can see when she gets the toy, Nate just is able to take it out of her mouth. You shouldn't experience any type of growling or mouthing during this. She should just have the toy, and then you should be able to just open her mouth and get the toy out.
Good, Grace. Good.
She's doing really good.
So when you're feeding Grace, it's another time that you can really have control and you have her utmost attention at dinner time. So I'm just going to show you a quick way: sit, stay, come. Another time you can do it, twice a day when you're feeding her. And again, you're going to have her attention, so you really want to make sure that you are consistent and you're following through. Grace, sit. Sit. Stay. Stop, sign out, just firm, stay. And I'm not going to tell her to come my way until I have her eyes and her attention. Grace, come. Come. So I can do this just a couple times before I would feed her. Grace, sit. Stay. 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 I'm gonna wait till I have her eyes. Grace. Grace. Stay. No. Sit. Grace, sit. Stay. Stay. Grace, come. Good job. Come here. We're gonna do it one more time. Grace, sit. Sit. Stay. Stay. Last time. Grace, stay. Grace, come. And that way, this is when I would feed her. Just like that. Perfect. Good job, girl.
I just wanted to go over quick with you guys what a correction for Grace would look like. I know you had expressed some issues with her jumping up and biting your legs or biting your pant legs, and we really want to eliminate that behavior. So if you come in the door and she does any behavior you don't like, or not even when you come in the door, if she jumps on your couch or she does anything that you don't want her to do, you have to tell her that you don't like it. And the way you tell her that is by, like I said, changing the tone of your voice, telling her, no, Grace, sit. Grace, sit. Good girl. Telling her, no, Grace, changing your tone of voice. You have to tell her the behaviors you don't like. The best way to show a dog that you aren't liking the behavior is when you're down like this with them and you're at their level, you're kind of on the same playing field. If she would start like mouthing my arm or biting at my clothes and I didn't like it, the first thing I would do is stand up and say, Grace, no, sit. And I would have her sit. No, you don't bite, or whatever the behavior would be. You can see right away, I'm bigger than her. Now I'm standing over her, and now she's in a more submissive position. If she keeps on biting or jumping, or sometimes that behavior that gets escalated and you feel like it's out of control, you really have to put her into an even more submissive state. So how we do that is, I would have her go like this, and I would say, Grace, no. And I would pull her on the ground like this and hold her down and say, no, you don't bite. Stay. And right now, I'm hardly putting any pressure on her, but I'm having her on her side, and you can even have her totally on her back. And this is just putting her into a state where I'm leaning over her. I'm showing her I'm the boss. You have to control her with, if she starts fighting this or starts mouthing, I push her face down more and I hold her like this with my whole body. And I say, no, Grace. If you even have to go over her like this and say, no, you don't bite. Whatever the behavior is that she's doing you don't like, you have to show her you are the boss. And so right now I hold her in this position until she's completely submitted. Stay. Where I have total control of her. And then I hold her here for another minute, and then we reconcile. It goes back to, good girl, Grace. You don't bite. You're a good girl. Come here, Gracie. Good girl. Yeah. And then we're happy again. When she does a behavior you don't like, you have to teach her that you don't like it. The biting thing has got to end. You have to nip it in the butt now before she becomes a bigger dog and it becomes a bigger problem. So if she's biting at your pant leg and you don't like it, you have to push her down and say, no, don't bite. And if she keeps coming back at you, you got to push her down into that, like, I said, don't bite, Grace, no. And your voice is like that. Then it's good girl, Grace. Come here. I know you didn't really bite my pants. But that's just a visual to show you. You really have to take control now while you still can, while she's still a puppy. And that's really going to just solidify with her what you like and what you don't like. That's how we would do it if she was our dog, and I think that you're going to be really happy if you have to do that 1 or 2 times. You'll be able to nip those bad behaviors in the butt.